Imagine going from achieving 20 and 30% to achieving an 88.4 ATAR, becoming the DUX of your cohort, and being in the top 9% of the entire state. Well, that's what my student Ibrahim was able to achieve inside of DUX Academy. And in today's video, it is going to be an interview between me and Ibrahim, talking about his experience, talking about how he was able to make such a huge transformation. So if you are a low performing student right now who wants to make an insane comeback like Ibrahim did, just think about it, as you'll see in the interview soon, this guy literally went from getting 20%, he said it himself, to achieving DUX of cohort and an 88.4 ATAR. That is absolutely shocking. And that is what's possible inside of the program. Please make sure you watch this entire interview. You're literally about to listen to gold, because you're not going to be listening from me. You're going to be listening to someone that is not me, telling you how he was able to make such an insane comeback. Honestly, it's actually so real. So go ahead, get some pen and paper ready, take some notes, and I hope you enjoy this video. So tell me, what's your name and what state are you in right now?
Okay, so my name's Ibrahim and I'm from Victoria.
Nice. And tell me, Ibrahim, if you had to summarize your academic comeback journey in one sentence, what would you say? So tell me, start it off like, I went from X to Y. If you one sentence, summarize it.
Okay, not to give myself a big head, but I think I went from the worst to the best.
There we go. Awesome. Now, as in terms of, actually, we'll get to the numbers in a second, okay? But for now, it's I went from the worst to the best, all right? We'll speak about the numbers soon, right? So tell me, Ibrahim, before joining DUX Academy, what were your marks like?
So I think I was averaging about, not even lying, 20%, 30%. And it was obviously a lack of effort, not even trying during the exam, all that kind of stuff. And it was just not caring about school in general.
And so you were getting around averaging 20 to 30%. And I do remember you telling me that when you first joined. Yeah. So tell me, why do you think you're averaging those results? What were you struggling with most before you joined the program?
It was just you go to class and, some of my friends would just understand what's going on. But for me, because I wasn't as engaged, I didn't care as much. The information would go in and come out the other ear, or I'd be thinking about something else. And because I didn't have all these systems to try to take everything in, and also obviously because I didn't care as much, the exam would come and I'm just like, what is this? So then, you fall asleep during it, or you just don't care, or you just don't do it. Yeah.
Interesting, man. So what I'm very curious about now is, because you even said yourself, you didn't care, right? You didn't care about school. You didn't really try. You didn't really care, right? So what was that moment? What was the lowest point? Because you even said, you said you went from the worst to the best, right? So what was that lowest point where you realized, you know what, man, and excuse the language, but shit, something needs to change here, bro. What was that? Because that's pretty crazy. Even the viewers that are watching now, why, how the hell does someone like you go from getting 20 and 30s to being like, you know what, I need to change myself? What happened?
Yeah, of course. So my moment happened outside of school. So I was at work. I used to work in a butcher shop, and the owner was this guy. He'd always yell and stuff. And this one day I'm cleaning the drain, and he goes, don't put these gloves on, because the customers will see you've got gloves on. They'll think it's the same one. So I take my gloves off and I'm cleaning the drain, and there's pieces of skin, of chicken skin, and there's cockroaches coming at me. And I was just thinking, dude, if I don't try in school, I'm probably going to do this for the rest of my life. And I was like, I can't do
that. Yeah. That's crazy, man. Wow. Yeah. So you working in a job that you hated and didn't like, that made you maybe reflect on you know what, if I keep getting 20%, I'm going to have to work a job like this.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was like, that's just not something I want to do ever.
Interesting, man. And what about from that moment moving forward? How did that make you feel on you know what, how does it make you feel that you were going to school, coming back from school, going to work, and you were literally failing school? How did that, how was it at home? How did your family react? How was that for you?
Look, my family were never ones to be really angry and all that stuff, but you could see there was disappointment. They wanted me to try in school, especially with my parents both having tried in school, and they'd always tell me, you should study, or they try get me to cut my hours down for work. But it was never about the work. It was all about the fact that at school I just didn't use my time properly and didn't care about school itself.
Yeah, that makes sense, man. And did you ever feel and this is getting like even deeper, because I know with me, when I made my comeback, this is how I felt. So did you ever feel like when you looked at your mum or your dad, you're like, man, like these parents, they're doing everything for me, and yeah, I'm getting 20%. Did you have that guilt or no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man. Yeah. Because,
Yeah,
at the bit you're working, you're like, yeah, I'm getting money for myself and having fun, but it's you don't get the opportunity to really help out or do anything on a bigger scale, or even later on in the future, if you just don't try in school.
yeah,
Pretty
100%, 100%, man. All right, so tell me then, before joining Duck Academy, so we're still talking about, the academy itself.
much.
Before you joined that, what had you tried beforehand? Like, did you do tutoring? Did you watch YouTube videos? Did you try doing things, studying harder? Like, you had that moment, at your job where you felt like, you know what, I don't want to do this forever. What did you actually try? Because I remember when you first booked a call and you were joining, you had tried things beforehand, but they weren't working. So what was that before, and why didn't it work out for you, do you reckon?
So I would try to study, but I didn't even know like how you even took notes, because that's how disengaged I was. So I would try, do the chapter work, for example, for maths that the teacher had set up, but it would be like a week before, and it'd be this much chapters. It's like there's no way you're getting it. And I remember it was just kind of this stuff where I'd be reading the textbook or doing meaningless questions without review, etc. And it was always like, oh, my mates are doing less and they're getting more. And that was like the moment where you just start to feel dumb and like maybe school's not for me. Yeah.
Mm.
So that's the phase I was in before DUX Academy, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just a matter of like trying to figure out things on your own, but just none of it working.
Yeah, it's way too slow to figure it out on your own, I think,
Yeah.
especially if you're starting in like year 10 or year 11, and you've
Yeah.
got to lock in and get it together perfect before year 12
Yeah.
or at year
Yeah.
12. I think it's too slow.
Definitely. And I don't remember, did you have tutors at the time?
I was doing this online tutoring for maths.
Oh,
And
yes, that's right. Yes, that's what I
yeah,
remember.
yeah, they said I'm at a year 7 level at the start of year 11. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's
and
crazy.
there wasn't much to do.
So your own tutor said that you were in year 7 level at the
Yeah,
start
we
of
did
it.
diagnostic tests and everything and all that, and I was year 7 level. It was
That's crazy.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Interesting, man. That is crazy. Don't drop the name of that tutoring company, by the way. Okay, so now what I really want to know is, when you first heard about Dux Academy, what did you like? Was there anything you were skeptical about, or you didn't believe in? Like, what was that?
Look, especially with how I started to fall into the mind frame of like, what, I'm just too stupid for school. I'd always look at tutoring companies, even with my experience with that tutoring company, be like, you know what, they're just going to sell a bunch of words to you. And it's way different in Dux Academy. It's not like just selling words. There's actual intrinsic value where it tells you what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And there's also the mentoring you provide, because it becomes more of a like mentor relationship. And that's also really valuable. That I think that's like, in my opinion, what was the most important bit out of Dux Academy, even more than how to study.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me then, was there anything, because obviously it's human nature. Sometimes, even though we know something's best for us, we're still doubtful of it, because I guess it's normal. Was there something that made you maybe like worry about before joining, or maybe your parents were worried about before joining, or maybe like, was there a time where you weren't going to join? Was there any of that or no?
No, I mean, literally, it was just skeptical that, hey, you know what, nothing can help, and the system won't work regardless. But when I started to learn more about it and realize that, hey, you know what, Dux Academy doesn't really just give you, oh yeah, do this question and that. It teaches you how to study on your own. I figured that, hey, it's got long-term value, because I'm still using the same skills, by the way. For like right now, I'm pre-studying for uni. I'm using the same skills.
There we go, right? I told you. Remember that first call we had? I literally remember word for it. I was like, listen, Ibrahim, this program will help you for the rest of your life. And there you go. Now you're applying it.
Using the same skills, man.
There we go. I'm very glad to hear that, man. Make sure you update me on your university results. Sure,
we'll do.
Cool. So it's not that you had any doubts about the program. What you really had doubts about was the fact that you thought you were just dumb and couldn't change.
Yeah, of course. And I just figured, hey, tutoring or whatever, like academic program doesn't help anyone. But the approach that this Dux Academy has is just too different to tutoring, that you can't really compare it at all. It's a whole different thing. Yeah.
100%. Awesome, man. So now let's actually talk about you being inside the program. When you first joined, what were the first changes that you made with like how you studied, or just school in general? Because like you just said, right? You said before that, you know what, before you joined the program, you just felt like you were stupid and dumb and all these things. So when you first joined, what was some of the changes that happened to you that made you realize that, you know what, maybe it's like this is possible for me?
Look, the biggest thing was falling into a consistent routine of study. And I actually upped up the study so much more because you were there and you were telling all of us that, hey, you know what, doing like 30 minutes a day, even if people say that's what they do, isn't enough. And even if I was still struggling to like apply all the systems and stuff, just going from this much study to this much really, really helps. And it even changes your attitude towards school because there's more investment into it. You know what I mean? So that was the biggest change I made first. It was just starting to study more because you basically made it like, you know what, that's a prerequisite. I don't know how, but that's what we started thinking. That's what I started thinking mainly, yeah.
Yeah, awesome, bro. 100%. So it's really just putting down that routine, building that work ethic to actually get things done.
Of course, exactly.
Just changing your behavior. Nice. Okay, so out of everything inside the program, because obviously there's a lot of things. There's a community, there's a program, there's a calls, there's a support. What was the one thing that you feel like helped you the absolute most out of everything?
Look, as silly as it sounds, it was the bit where you told me that, hey, they can only, and I watched the videos about it, how they can only test about the syllabus, how you break down the syllabus, do the traffic light system and all that. Because I found that I would just not plateau in exams as much anymore because I knew how to go back and study after an exam. I knew how to review an exam perfectly. I used to go through an exam in like 2 hours, mark it, whatever. But with that system, I mean, dude, you can spend like 10 hours on an exam and every hour would still give you value. So that was the most important thing. Yeah, especially
100%. Yeah, man. But even like in terms of the components of the program, so as you know, the DUX Academy has like the community, there's the courses and the calls. Which component was it? Like the mentoring side of things or the program side of things or the community? What like helped you the most with that?
I think it was the courses. Like that was mainly it. Yeah. And obviously the mentoring was adjacent to that.
100%. Awesome, man. Now, once you actually join the program and you learn how to study and or even DUX Academy itself, how much time did you put aside to do DUX Academy? Like go through the videos and do the modules?
So I would only put like, I think 2 hours a week or an hour a week into the actual modules and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a value. Personally, I didn't see value in just rushing through everything. So
100%.
Yeah. And I was still focusing on school. And obviously, as you do school as well, you learn from your SACs and your exams and all that. So,
So you were putting 2 hours or 1 hour a week and then implementing it and then coming back to it and then implementing it, come back to it. Is that right?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Let's now talk about the juicy stuff. So tell me, before DUX Academy, what were your marks getting on average? Tell me again.
20 to 30%.
20 to 30% on average. Okay. Now, after DUX Academy, now having graduated, what ATAR did you get? What were your achievements?
So I got 88.4. And, you know, I did really well in English, A+ on the exam. Dude, that's like top 8%. I was really, really hyped for that. I did really well in chem and bio and all that. And I think I was in the top 20% state for every single subject I did. And even health, I did it in year 11. I ended up getting top 9% as well. So that was 39 study score. Yeah.
Nice.
For the whole state, which is ridiculous coming from a, you know, disadvantaged school.
Right. That's insane. And even your school, it was a disadvantaged school from memory.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It is really, really. I think it's like bottom 500 rank or something like that.
Yeah. And I believe, so not only did you get 88.4 ATAR, top 29% everything, I believe you also became the DUX of your cohort. Is that right?
Of course. Yeah. DUX Academy, you get DUX. That's pretty much the goal. Yeah.
Nice, man. That is actually like, bro, you went from literally 20% to an 88.4 ATAR and DUX of cohort and at a disadvantaged school. Yeah. And let me just make it very clear. Let me just make it very clear to everyone watching this. This guy didn't go to some good selective school. He went to a very disadvantaged school and was able to achieve this. That's insane, man. So out of all those results, what's like, even if it's not a result, I guess, what's the thing that you're most proud of, like in your journey? What was it?
Okay, so this is really coming back to the year 7 in maths. So I picked maths methods, which is like the harder bit of maths. Not the hardest, but it's the harder bit. And I picked it because I knew I was bad at math. I wanted to be stubborn and know that I can be good at math because I tried really hard. And I ended up getting 31, which was above average for the whole state in a hard math. And I think that's the thing I was most proud of. Like I put in more study in that subject than everything else. And even though the score number was lower, I went from year 7 to above average in year 12 in a hard math. And that's what I was most proud of. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just told me that your tutor said that you're year 7 level. So for you to get above average and become DUX, bro, that's insane, man.
Yeah, it was really hard for me. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, some people might
I'm
think
proud
it's
of you too,
easy
man.
to get above. For me, it was really hard to go from that to that.
Yeah. No, you have to always look at the context, man. Like, yeah, if you look at your circumstances, your scenario, that bro, you're getting 20%, man. Of course, it's going to be hard. So, makes sense why you're proud of that the most. Okay.
Yeah, of
Now,
course. Yeah.
outside of marks, because as you know, and I'm sure you're
Mm.
going to realize now that you've graduated, marks is just a number, and it's a
Yeah.
great and amazing blah blah blah. But what's different now in your life, having gone through DUX Academy, done all the modules? Like, how's your confidence? How's your stress levels? How's your mentality going? How's that for you now? How's life now?
Dude, here's the biggest thing, and it was after I found out I got ducks. I'd never believed. I'd always look at averages and all that and be like, these are real people as well. You can never beat them, you know. You're set below them. That's it. But when you actually work hard, you put the work in, and you do get really high, you feel like you can achieve anything. Like right now for uni, I'm even more locked in. I'm pre-reading, pre-studying like 2 months before because I'm like, dude, if I could get ducks at my school, like who's stopping me from like doing really well at uni? And I think that's the biggest confidence thing you can get from DUX Academy, more than like a tutoring where it's just band-aid and you just get numbers. Like no one cares what numbers you got, but to have that confidence, it's actually priceless, man.
100%, man. And that's what I always try telling people. People really think, and I think it's got something to do with a household issue too, like, but people think like, oh, it's just about the ATAR, it's just about this and this and this,
Yeah,
but it's actually not. It's about like everything else, right? And I
yeah,
have zero doubts, bro. You're gonna find uni so easy. Like mark my words, bro. I'm telling
yeah,
you
yeah,
right now, because now that I know you know how to study and fix yourself and all, bro, uni's gonna be so easy for you, man. So make sure you update me on that. All right, final few questions is this is where I really need you to think about, kind of serving the other people who are in your position, right? If a student like owed you, let's imagine Ibrahim version 1 was watching this right now, what would you say to them?
um I'd say do the hardest things you can. Like I don't know what the adage is, but it's like burn the boats. Like don't pick the easy subject in case you fail. Don't worry about failing. Just do it. And if it gets to the point that you're gonna fail these subjects, you're gonna work hard. You're gonna force yourself to work hard. So just go pick the things or do the things that will make you reach your goals and just wait for it to happen. That's all you need to do. You just do the
Awesome.
work and wait for it to happen.
That's
Don't
very
overthink.
good. It's very important what you just said about wait for it to happen. A lot of students, they try doing something, don't get a result in like a week, and like, oh, what's happening? Even you, I believe, even though you made a pretty rapid, fast academic comeback, there was still time. Like it still took you time to fix yourself, go through everything. Yeah.
Well, yeah, in the bigger picture, like hypothetically, if I had started in year 7, or maybe I would have got a 99 or whatever. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the bigger picture. There's always more time needed. There's always a potential. Like you can say you can achieve anything, but there's always potential at the time limit you're given.
100%. 100%. Now, let's imagine right now, Ibrahim, there's a student, they're thinking about joining DUX Academy, but like they may be like hesitant. What would you tell them right now to kind of change their mind about that?
I would tell them if you really care about your education, don't bother getting tutors. Join DUX Academy. You'll figure it out on your own with the help
Yeah.
of someone. There's no point worrying about any of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. And by the way, guys, I have not told him to say any of this, but I just wanted to say this one more time, Ibrahim, because a lot of people, and I think maybe you liked it at the start, I don't exactly remember, but a lot of people, because they think, tutoring's a traditional thing, like tutoring's been around forever. So people think, oh, that's the way of success. But can you confidently say, genuinely, that, the difference between DUX Academy and tutoring is actually difference between staying the same and making an insane academic comeback like this?
100%, 100%. Like even in year 12, I went to a bit of tutoring, but I tell you what, if I didn't know DUX Academy, it would have went in this year and came out the other. Like if you don't know how to study, you don't know how to do anything that's school related. And DUX Academy teaches you how to study. No tutor teaches you.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Now, one last thing is also just out of curiosity, what did you decide to study in university?
So I'm gonna do law, inshallah. I got the offer and everything doing that. It's just a
Law.
passion. Yeah.
There we go, bro. That's actually
Yeah, man.
I'm actually like genuinely so proud of you, bro. You went
Thank you,
from
man.
20% to now you're going to become a lawyer. That's
Crazy.
cool.
It's surreal, right?
That's crazy, man. Oh my God. Even by the way, I forgot to mention, I was supposed to say this at the start of the call, but your whole demeanor has changed. The whole way
Yeah,
you speak,
imagine.
your whole confidence has changed. Like if we look back at the very first call, you're like this guy who was like kind of down and like self-esteem is low. Bro, now you're standing up tall, ready to go, freaking conquering it, man. That's insane.
Of
All
course,
right.
man. Yeah.
Now, one last thing is for the parents, right? Now, if someone's parents are watching this, which some parents will watch this, and maybe they're scared to take a step like this, because again, I 100% empathize with with parents. Like Dux Academy is different to tutoring; it's completely different,
Yeah.
right? What would you say to the parent who is so used to tutoring? What would you say to them to kind of help them take a step, which is join a program like Dux Academy?
Look, I think my parents did this as well, but and there's just psychological studies on this and everything, but you need to give your kids autonomy, and that's the only way they're going to grow. If your kids are going to be 18, 19, and they've all been used to going to tutoring, you drive them there, force them to go. When they're that age, they'll drop out of uni or they won't try that hard, or whenever they get freedom, they'll just kind of run away. You need to make them feel like the choice is theirs. And I
Mm,
believe that's the only way that someone grows as a person, because we can reach these numbers, we can hit these numbers, get the ATARs, get the DUX. But if you haven't grown as a person and actually want to do it yourself, I don't think it matters that much personally. And I think DUX Academy allows you to do that because you have the autonomy to study as much as you want, to view the courses whenever you want, to learn how to study yourself, and to actually think about it yourself. And I think tutoring is more like brainless, like here, just do this, just do this, just do this. Eventually, you'll know how to do something else. It's like I don't think it has the qualities to grow. Like it doesn't grow your
yeah.
quality. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man. That is so true, and I believe that's what also helped me make my comeback, which is like I had no one to spoon feed me. I didn't have like people telling me what to like. Nothing was like that. So, the fact that you can build that independence, and as you know, in Dux Academy, I never annoyed you by checking in every 5 seconds. Like there was
Yeah, no,
accountability.
no.
There was accountability where I did check in, but it wasn't like annoying. Like, oh, do this and do this. It was like
Yeah,
I give you everything you need. The resources are there. Everything is there. Now you just have to do it and reach out for help when you need it. So yeah. All right, man. Well, look, thank you so much for doing this interview. I'm sure you've inspired a lot of students watching this.
definitely,
But
man.
guys, like even anyone else is still watching this right now, like if this guy here, I spoke with him before he joined. I was there before he joined. This guy genuinely was failing school, and now he's like it looks like someone that's impossible to get 20%. He's got become the Dux of his cohort, 88.4 ATAR, and just it's just insane. I'm actually gobsmacked, man. So well done,
Thank you,
and
man.
thank you once again for doing this interview, man.
Hopefully, you have a good one, bro. See ya.
So yeah. Thank you so much for watching this student interview. If you are a low performing student who wants to make an insane academic comeback like this student was able to achieve, then check the first link in the description down below. You can book a call with me or my team. We can speak about where you are right now, and then we can map out a plan for you to make a comeback yourself. This call, by the way, is completely for free. You don't need to bring any credit card. You don't need to bring any money. It's just a free call that can equip you with clarity, with focus, and it's just an amazing chance to see if this program is even right for you to begin with. I look forward to speaking with you soon.